Okay, hello, weekly update two. So lots of work last week. You guys did a very nice job. And so I just want to comment on some of these, do some shout outs, and then talk about what's coming up for week two. Um, First thing again, math is discussions. I really enjoyed reading those. Some ones I liked again, and you might want to go back and check. Keegan, Kelly, Patrick, and Grace. Some nice discussions there. The team intros, thank you for those videos and the documents. Always know you can go back there and find someone, like maybe as the class proceeds, you really like what Patrick has to say on a certain topic, and in particular, maybe he nails directional derivatives. You can find his contact information there. You might want to say, hey, can you do a Zoom with me and we could talk about this? And you will hear more and more names throughout the class. And so that's how we're going to build communities, and that's one place for it. The team intros were fantastic. I really enjoyed those. So we've got teams named the Swans, the Fantastic Three, MEC, the Algebros, PBS, Dream Team, and Team Undefined. Team Undefined, I love their video. It was actually, there's one of the teams of 4 folks, so they had a nice little symmetry. They showed the gallery 2x2 gallery view, but they also mentioned, and that was Jake, Grace, Savannah, and Jennifer. They very carefully answered all the questions that were listed there, and we'll come back to those. So they had some discussion of their concerns about the class, so we'll end with that in this weekly video. Neat thing too to see what a diverse, eclectic class we have this semester. I'm really excited. We've got all sorts of majors. We have some meteorology, astrophysics, physics, systems engineering, mathematics, math education, computer science, some great minors too. Like I think we had classics and philosophy and psychology. So really interesting folks. And I think that's going to come out too in the projects that you work on, the homework. I think we'll see where those different backgrounds and interests come in. And then in terms of the class, I mean, again, interesting folks, people from California, all up and down the East Coast, right here in Charleston, people born in Japan, interests all over too, like Calercia's into crocheting, a couple hikers and climbers, and Christy, Olivia, and Grant, surfers and sailors. People have collections from, like, Allie's interested in classic cars, Keegan's interested in vinyl records. Sports, like I think we have someone on the tennis team, Eleanor, cross country, Mac, Ethereal likes to just run for fun. Oh, we got a beatboxer. Griffin is a beatboxer. Maybe we'll get to hear that at some point. Kelly has broken 6 bones. Very interesting fact. Oh, and then I really liked O'Connor's been to all 50 states. Will's been to Germany. Let's see, is it Patrick is the circumnavigator? Been around the world. And Liam's a piano player. Oh, and I liked Erin. She's worked at the aquarium and she wanted to assure us that penguins are really soft. I just like the way she put that phrase. I'll never forget it when I think about a penguin. Okay, and then in terms of your assignments, so some other assignments were the graphing assignment this week. And that is for you guys to do. You can do them in your journals. You can do them in a separate notebook. Sometimes you can take a picture. If it's a physical thing that you're constructing, get a roommate or grab another hand, take a picture of what you're trying to construct. And you no need to apologize for sloppiness or crossing out. Again, that's for you. This is for Chloe and I to take a look at and see where people are, what maybe are common problems, and we can have a extra video or an office hour or something to correct those. So this is feedback that you're giving to us, but it's also a place think of it as you're not trying to, like, I guess some of you have thought maybe need really polished, cleaned up. It's okay if you cross things out, and we just need it one more time in PDF. So make sure you've gotten that down. I think there's 1 or 2 of you that keep turning in .docx. Just go into Word then, if that's what you're using, annotating your, so those look nice, but we just need them to be saved. So you print to PDF and then upload it to the PDF. And you're always welcome to also submit short videos. So you can just use your phone or do Zoom, sit in front of Zoom like we're doing here, and send that the link or the MP4s or however it's recorded. Those are helpful too. Okay, let's see. Some folks, I just want to point out where I'm going to put this. So I'm going to share the screen here. All right, so I'm going to go into what OAKS looks like for our class on my end, and I want to go into the content section and show you where I'm going to start putting each week. Kind of slow here this morning. But each week, so I'm going to put in your content section, there will be a samples and examples. So let's see, module 1, your usual samples and examples. And for week 1, so here's some of the ones I really liked, and you can go back and look then, go back and see like Clarissa's did the cutting planes activity, and you can look at how she submitted that. Wow, it's so slow this morning. So some ones that I liked were for this graphing was Jake and Griffin, Clarissa and Grant. They submitted all, they did all 6 problems. Wow, this is slow. Not required, you only had to choose 3, but some people did them. So if you wanted to say, I had trouble with 1, I skipped it and did 2, what these 4 folks did all of them, you can check out their work. Jeez Louise. All right, so maybe we'll just go back, instead of showing you, you guys can check these out on your own time. What it was that, oh, she showed the picture of how she actually did these. And then samples and examples, week 1. Some other ones that I really liked, we'll just show you, read off the names here, and you guys can check them out on your own time. Well, I can read them while we're waiting on this. I can at least read them off to you. So the ones that I really like this time are all dumped in there. Okay, there. Okay, so Clarissa on a couple assignments, Grant on a couple of ones, Griffin, Jake, Keegan, and Liam. And I can't remember, was it Grant or Griffin? One of my G names here. Really did a nice job. So we're for that cutting planes, Clarissa showed that she folded the page and took pictures. One of my G guys here, Grant or Griffin, wrote out and they showed their work, and it's beautiful pages, really nice handwriting, really well done. And every step is shown of how they got to basically Clarissa's decision that it looks like this, right? So they actually showed the steps, how they got all the intercepts, and then it must lie like this. So check those out. It's just taking too long to load, but hopefully your internet's faster than mine. Okay, so every week I'm going to do that. I'll put the assignments that I really liked, and it's a place for you to see how other folks think about work. And you'll probably get in this also this semester, hear some names, and again, kind of have like, I know last semester, there's a student, Rianne, who just did beautiful work every time, and people just kind of went, even though I put several of them in, they kind of go to Rianne's with kind of the favorite. And then there's another student, Jenna, who just did fantastic videos describing what her thought process was on many of these activities, and people really enjoyed those. So you'll probably find that throughout the semester, you'll have people that you click with and understand and find their work here. Okay, and this is also to say that if you're a late, I should also mention, if you're one of the people who submits kind of right at the deadline, right before the 11:59, I may not be up that late to check it out. So you might have done beautiful work, but I just didn't have a chance to put it in here because I went to bed earlier. Let's see. Okay, so stop the share and we'll just go back. This next week, week 2, you're gonna take this graphing skills and amp them up to learning about something called contour maps, which are super cool. And you also have your challenge problems. So please watch the video for the intro to challenge problems. You will be working on a Google Doc and you will be filling out your team's, let me share the screen one more time here. Let's see. This might take a while too then. So I think in the video on challenge problems, intro to challenge problems, you'll see that you have a Google Doc, and again, you all have access to that. If you added late and you're having trouble, let me know, but I'm pretty sure I got everyone added. There's nothing to submit with that because it's a Google Doc that Chloe and I already have access to. You're just going to type in there. You can do it synchronously, asynchronously. You could have Zoom meetings with your team before you do it. And some teams, depending on the week, might have been always asynchronous. Like one team member goes in there, they pick color blue font to write, and they're writing their ideas, and then you write your final report together. another team member comes in red font, replying to some things that were said in the blue, and then get down to the bottom section, which is the team report. And make sure you take a look at the grading scale and how that, the sections that you need to include. And you'll see examples of what 105 calculus students in a previous semester did. So just to get ideas to give you in the samples and examples section of ideas of how you might frame your work with your challenge report and how you're submitting something. You might have images that you've done in Desmos or a particular tool like Calcplot 3D and how you can import that and text around them. So just use that for ideas for graphic design. Okay, next comment I want to make is throughout the semester, I want to encourage you guys that this is a collaborative process. Even though we're doing this asynchronously and it's online, I want you to be working as if we were in class with each other, with me, with Chloe, with the math lab. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be working on these activities at home alone all the time. If you're struggling, pick up the phone, call one of your classmates, call a team member that you know is working on it. There's some people every semester I can already see like early birds go in there and start working on the problem. So like today, I think Savannah might be one of our early birds, already starts at the beginning of the week. And she might, she's the only one that started it, but then she sees that maybe Jesse's already working on it too. She might give her a call, and that's totally acceptable. I want you guys to discuss things and collaborate. Don't get stuck and beat your head against the wall. It is meant that you work with other people. It's not one of those classes where you're not allowed. And I want to encourage you to work together with classmates and teammates. Whenever that is not allowed, you'll know, right? So those will be on our exam and our personalized quizzes, right? But the activities, the homeworks, please discuss. You still have to submit your own stuff, but you're welcome to discuss with folks. Okay, next thing I wanted to close with is Team Undefined, great team name. This is Jake, Grace, Savannah, and Jennifer. Yeah, so these 4 folks mentioned they handled what their sort of goals for the class were and their concerns about the class. And so the goals, talking about like mastery, yes, that was awesome. Jake really wants to get down to the nitty gritty. Like, I love that phrase. It reminds me of Nacho Libre, one of my favorite movies there. We will be doing that. That's the point of these journals, is to really understand these concepts and have mastery. I don't want to produce a bunch of human calculators. I want you to be able to calculate and use some tech tools when they get crazy to do those calculations. But I really, really want you to understand why you're using this formula, why you're doing it this way. And that's exactly what these journals were designed to do. So I think that's going to happen. But now the next thing was, I heard repeatedly from 2 or 3 of you in that group, one of the concerns was about the format of this class. Like, calculus is known to be kind of tough. I mean, but you guys are in some tough majors already. And, but so there's a little nervousness and trepidation about taking Calculus 3, but then in this format, right, this online and it's asynchronous. Well, remember, you can always talk live to your teammates, live to me, send an email if you want to do an office hour. If I start seeing common questions, I will, okay, well, enough people have asked, let's do I'll send out an email to everybody and let's do an office hour. But you also have access to Chloe in the math lab, almost 24, well, not 24 hours a day, but almost, 12 to 15 hour day, every day of the week. And you can meet with a math tutor. If the office hour that I set up doesn't work in your schedule, you have class or something or work. But we can also back and forth by email. A couple of you have already been doing that. So save up those questions and then contact someone about it. That can be a classmate, that can be Chloe, that can be me. We're here to help you. But I think another thing people were realizing with this format is it puts the accountability and the discipline on you. And so in order to do that, you have to understand yourself and figure out mechanisms that are going to help you. And so I think a couple of you, like Jennifer mentioned, like, this is going to be tough. This has been tough for me. It doesn't feel like I don't do, or maybe it was Grace, I don't have to actually be in a class and see someone and have that. It doesn't feel like things are due, but in this class every Wednesday and every Sunday. And if that requires putting it in your calendar, if that requires having Savannah call Grace and be like, look, I already did my stuff on Wednesday and Thursday, but look, you got to get it in. It's Saturday. Like, if you need that checkup and that reminder, trick yourself into mechanisms that are going to help you do this in a more accountable way. whatever it is. And so there's lots of ways that you can do that. Think about it. The next thing I want to say is that these, with that online and not being live and face to face, that is again exactly why I made these journals, put so much effort into doing these. Is they are designed, they thrive for the student learning in this kind of format, this challenging format. Think of this as like you're having an interaction and discussion with this journal. They are meant for this format. And I think you're going to find last semester, the students just did incredibly well. Some students just surprised themselves how well they were able to learn math. And I believe that's going to be the same this semester. I'm very excited. I think it's going to be fun. Okay, so don't forget this week too, this is your first challenge problem. These are challenge problems. We're not having exams until our final exam. So this is like taking the weight of that. So put in your time, really think about those, work with your group, and use your resources and have fun. All right, enjoy the week.